What's up, everyone? All right, so here we are, Thursday morning, finishing the day red. 2 back-to-back red days, but today things were a little bit more moderate. I didn't have any big swings. I had a couple of nice trades, like 4 or 5 green trades, and then 3 losses. So I went from being up about $2,600 on the day to being down $730. So not too much to stress about. You know, obviously I was really hoping to be green today. Finishing up 2,500 would have been great, but you know, today we were just seeing a lot of choppiness. A lot of stocks pop up and then drop down. HEAR here gapping up 60%. I think that was the one everyone was watching, but priced at $13. It's a little outside my price range. I made $650 on it, but it's not one that I can really get big positions on and get $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 winners on. It's just not. So here for me, I think it took a lot of the focus from other traders, got them all really tunnel vision on that stock, and unfortunately it's not one that I'm good at trading, so I didn't really do well on it. I do well when the stock that's in focus, the hot stock today, is one between $3 and $5 or $8. That's usually when I really can be aggressive and do well. I really understand how those trade, but as they get to the higher price ranges, I don't do as well. So anyways, made a little money on that, made some money on a couple others, and then had a good size loss because what we kept seeing were these false breakouts. You know, jumping in stocks, and instead of opening up, they would drop. And so what causes that? Well, when stocks open up, someone asked me yesterday on in one of the comments, and I love when you guys throw comments down below these videos. You know, if you like these videos, subscribe to the channel, like the videos, throw down the comments. I'll come back through and answer every one of them. So one of the members of the Warrior Trading community, or maybe just a follower on our channel, asked this question of, Ross, what happened to waiting for the first pullback? It's a good question because a lot of these stocks I've lost on, you look and it's like I bought in the middle of a big green candle and then I get stopped out. So why didn't I just wait for a pullback? Well, the problem is when you're in a really strong market and traders are getting into really high levels of emotion, you have a lot of FOMO. And what that means is that when you see a stock, it's the fear of missing out. And so when you see a stock start to squeeze up, traders, for fear of missing out, don't wait for pullbacks and they just jump in. And now for me, I'm predicting and expecting that that's going to happen in a strong market, so I jump in as well. I don't want to buy at the high, I want to get in at calculated spots, but I am getting in aggressively. Excuse me, usually at a $0.50 or a whole dollar. So I jump in and then I ride that momentum. Yesterday on NCTY, that worked great. I got in, or no, it was not NCTY, it was, I can't remember what it was, but there was one 2 days ago that I jumped in at $1.80. Next thing you know, it's at $3. And by just jumping in, I was able to make some really good profit on that. If I had waited for the first pullback never came. And that's what happens. During these kind of feeding frenzies in the market, stocks go from $2 to $6 without pulling back because traders are so exuberant, they're so excited. FOMO is running so strong. But then you have markets, what we're seeing the last couple days, where traders are being more cautious. And so for a trader like myself that's trying to capitalize on FOMO, if it's not there, if it's not in the market, well, there's not going to be follow through. And that's the thing, that there's no real indicator to gauge FOMO. How strong are emotions running today? And you know, we don't have a technical indicator for it. It just kind of is, you know, it's just the look test, the taste test. You know, it's just, yeah, I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's a little higher today, it's a little lower today. Today was a little lower. Yesterday was a little lower. We'll see what it'll be for Friday. I think ultimately what's going to get us going on the next round of really high emotion trading and these big exaggerated moves will be the next stock that gives us a surprise move of 200 or 300%. Because that's when traders are going to be like, oh man, I missed that one. So the next stock that starts to pop up, I'm going to jump on it. And then you see that one, and then the next, and the next, and the next. And eventually then it starts to slow down, self-correct. We go into a slow period, and that's the next stock that starts to take off. So, you know, that's the ebb and the flow of the market. Right now, we're in a little bit of the pullback phase. Second red day in a row, but, you know, nothing to sweat about. Still up $57,000 on the month. So, great month of trading. Anyways, we'll break it all down in today's midday market recap. All right, everyone. So we're going to do our midday market recap today, go over the trades from this morning. Overall, today, another pretty choppy day. We just didn't see really good follow through on pretty much anything today. So there's lots of stocks that popped up and then came back down. And I was able to make some money on some of those pops, and then I gave back some money on some of the others. And so total, I'm finishing the day down $730, which, is a little bit of a bummer because I was up 2,500 before my last 3 trades. But, 2,500 is a great day, and I would have liked to have kept that in my pocket, but I guess I pushed it a little bit too much and gave back some of those gains. So finishing the morning here down $700, and you can see, we'll look at some of the stocks that I traded this morning. HEAR, this was a trade right out of the gates, anticipating a break of pre-market highs. So as soon as the bell rang, I was watching this to get in at 11:50. And you can see in that first 1 minute candle, it popped up from 11:50 all the way up to 12:11. And I had put out an order for 7,500 shares. That'd be a $3,500 winner. I filled 2,000 shares and sold it for $665 at 80 and 93. Sold a little bit at 12:04 and the rest at 11:49. So a small little scalp there. Next trade was VTVT. Also straight off the gap scanner, watching this for a break of pre-market highs, 248. I jumped in at 250 with 5,000 shares, sold it at 255 and 260, and the rest at 254 for approximately, that first trade was actually $250. I took a second trade on VTVT, anticipating a break of the VWAP right in here, and I stopped out of that with a 5-cent loss. So only $133 of profit on VTVT. So those two were right off the watch list here in VTVT. And then we were starting to watch, AWX. This was the other one that was right off the watch list. This one we were watching for a break of the pre-market highs. I jumped in it at 275. It squeezed all the way up to 364, which is a crazy move. I had 10,000 shares of AWX at 375, but it did not hold. It came all the way back down, and I ended up stopping out with only $1,300 of profit. I went from being up $9,500, but only for a second. I mean, there really wasn't any opportunity to take that profit. It squeezed up, was halted on a circuit breaker. I thought it was going to go higher. I thought this is the one that's going to be the big mover today, and it just rolled over. It came all the way back down in the next candle. So that was a little disappointing. Didn't give me the win I was hoping for. So at that point, we had seen choppiness on VTVT, HEAR, and AWX. Next trade, PTIE. This one hits our high day momentum scanner. So we've got our scanners running right here in the background. PTIE hits it. I jump in this at, what was it, 9. Let's see, we hit a high of 987. I got in PTIE at 890 and 902 and tried to add at 949, didn't get filled, and then I tried to sell, switch to selling. Actually, I added at 975 and 978. I was really going for, I guess, a bigger move on this one, and then I stopped out as it came back down. Came all the way back down to 873. So with this one, I had like 7,500 shares, and instead of it, being a nice big winner, it ended up being basically a break-even trade, $140. Covers commissions. All right, so that was a little bit disappointing. Next trade was KOSS, KOSS. This one, another one of those ones. It popped up, hit a high of 271, and then came right back down. Stopped out of that one. Lost $347 on it. And then the last trade, FAMI, this was the one that was the worst. This popped up, and when I first saw it, I was like, oh, it's a recent IPO setup, a breakout. So I like the look of it a lot. And I jumped in this one at a high of 883. High of day was 883. I bought it at high of day, and it came all the way back down to 765. I mean, it was just pathetic. It didn't hold up at all. So took a $2,600 loss on that one. And that's the one that really kind of ended the day for me, because it put me from being green on the day to red on the day. So, that's a little disappointing, but this is kind of what we saw today. Lots of stocks that did this, pop up and then drop back down. We saw it on FAMI. We saw it on KOSS. We saw it on VTVT. We saw it on every stock that I traded, and we saw it on a bunch of stocks that I didn't trade. So, today's one of those days where I'm not making any progress, but I'm also not falling really too deep in the hole. $700 that's one trade. That's half a trade. It's not a big deal. So all things considered, today's just another day of sideways price action, waiting for things to open back up. So yesterday was a bad day, but today is not that bad. So down $731, and it's the 83rd day of the year, second red day of the month of May. I hope I can finish the week tomorrow, Friday, with a green day and just kind of, reset over the weekend and then come back next week with some good momentum, good, focused trading. But I think the issue here is that last week, Wednesday and Thursday, I made $60,000 in those 2 days. Friday, I made another $8,500, so $68,000 in 3 days. That's when we were seeing that feeding frenzy, right? That's what we talk about when the market just gets really strong and traders get really excited. We see that feeding frenzy. Traders just jumping on the next stock that starts to squeeze up, and stocks left and right squeeze up, halted on circuit breakers, going higher, and it's just a great day. That's a great opportunity to make a lot of money, and that's the greed in the market. And we're able to capitalize on that FOMO that other traders are experiencing. They feel FOMO, the fear of missing out, and so that gives us those opportunities. But then you get to a point where more and more of those stocks that pop up don't hold their levels. They come back down. The market was irrationally strong, and now kind of common sense is coming back, and things aren't holding up. And so that's when you're going to start to see more false breakouts. And that's when you're going to see long bias traders starting to get more scared, and short sellers starting to get a little bit more greedy on their side. And that's when we see that shift. And so right now, in the last 2-3 days, we've started to see that shift. And what we really need to create the next round of really just frenzied momentum, what we ultimately need is the next stock to go from $2 to $12, or whatever, $10 to $30, $40, because that's what's going to trigger that next round of FOMO and, just wanting to really capitalize. So I think that's ultimately the thing to wait for. We will make the most money on parabolic stocks, and these ones right now are just kind of, it's a grind. This AGMH we were watching, it's a recent IPO breakout, but it just doesn't have a lot of volume, huge spreads, 55 by 1204. It's like you want it to work. You want it to squeeze up, break over 1283 and go back to 15, but I just don't know if today's the day. It just feels like traders are being a little bit more cautious, and HEAR, maybe it opens up over 1375. I kept this one on watch. The problem is we kept seeing it surge up and then drop down. This thing just hit 1370 and is now back at 1350. So it pops up 20 cents and then drops back down. And it pops up another 20 cents and then it drops back down. And so the problem with trading these is that you just keep getting chopped up. And I would love to finish the day green. Probably more than anyone. I would love, because I was green on the day. There's nothing worse than going from green to red. So I'd love to go back to green. And the easiest way to do that is to grab 5,000 shares of this and sell it for a 30-cent winner. But then this is what happens. You get in those 5,000 shares at 60, and next thing you know, you're down $2,000. See? Now you're at 1325. And that's what's really difficult to trade, are these whips where it pops up and then drops down, because it's not predictable. And so the thing to do right now is to exercise patience, exercise self-control. Yesterday for me was a big red day, and I need to work my way out of the hole. And today was an opportunity where I could have made back $2,500 if I had just finished the day sooner. I pushed my luck and gave back the gains that I had, and so today's a scratch day, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. And hopefully we'll be able to finish up the week with a couple of good trades. All right, so that's about it for me right now. I hope you guys who are trading in the afternoon, you do see some opportunities, but I'm just concerned that there's not going to be a lot out there. So those of you guys watching on YouTube, Facebook, if you like these videos, we'd love to have you subscribe to our channels. Give us a thumbs up, throw comments down there, and we'll come back and answer them later this afternoon. All right, everyone, so I'll see you all back here first thing tomorrow morning, 9:15 for pre-market analysis. All right, see you guys in the morning. If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.